If you've ever tasted a warm English crumpet, freshly toasted and oozing with butter and honey, you've never forgotten it. If you haven't tasted one, then you're in for a treat, because today I'm going to show you how to make English crumpets with your sourdough starter. Hi, I'm Michelle. Welcome to Chocolate Box Cottage, where I share useful, beautiful, and thrifty ideas to help you create your own cozy cottage. Well, today's kitchen recipe is the ultimate in cozy. We're talking about English crumpets. What is an English crumpet? Some people compare them to English muffins, but there are some important differences. English muffins are made with a firmer dough, and English crumpets are made with more of a light, fluffy batter. You'll notice the surface of the crumpet has lots of holes, and it's these holes, which are actually tunnels, that allow the butter and the honey to just soak right into the center. We're going to start our English crumpet batter by making a sourdough sponge. Now this requires a bubbly, lively sourdough starter, one that's been fed the night before. Or if you want to hurry it up and get it all done in one day, you can simply feed your starter using lukewarm water instead of the cold tap water that you might normally use. Now, let me give you a tip here on how to tell when your sourdough starter is ready to work. Immediately after you feed it, mark the level of your sourdough starter in the jar using a rubber band. This will allow you to easily tell when your sourdough starter has doubled in volume. And that's what we're looking for. A sourdough starter that has doubled in volume has plenty of oomph to help leaven those English crumpets that we're making. Now, if you look closely at the jar, you can see lots and lots of little bubbles, lots of activity in here. This is one happy sourdough starter. You're going to need a digital kitchen scale for this recipe, as the ingredients are mostly in grams.
Start by turning your scale on with your mixing bowl in place and adding 200 grams of lukewarm water. Then press the tare button so that the display reads 0 once again, and measure in your sourdough starter. You'll need about 240 grams of sourdough starter. Ooh, just look at all those bubbles. Okay, we're getting closer. There we are. Okay. Now use a whisk. I'm using a small bread whisk here to stir the sourdough and the water. You can see it's already just bubbling happily. Now, resting the utensil in the bowl, we'll press the tare button once more so that the display reads 0 again, and we'll begin adding flour. We're using bread flour, King Arthur bread flour, because it has a higher protein content, which gives us the extra oomph and lift that we need for fluffy, effervescent English crumpets. We need about 175 grams of bread flour, and we're almost there. Using the scale makes this so much easier. Okay, all of our ingredients for this stage are in the bowl, and we're just going to mix this up until we have a smooth batter. So right now we have a smooth batter that's somewhat thicker than waffles. I can already feel that it's fluffy and the sourdough starter is doing its job. What we need to do now is find a warm spot to let this batter rest. And it needs to be about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Some of the spots that I've tried around my house that might work for you are the top of the refrigerator, tends to be warm up there, on top of your water heater, or in the same room as a wood stove. So we're going to set this aside and allow the batter to double. And it may take, depending on the temperature in your room, it may take anywhere from 1 to 4 hours.
Meanwhile, let's prepare our English crumpet rings. You are going to need a set of about 8 of these metal rings to make English crumpets. If you can't find these at a local shop, a specialty kitchen shop, you may need to purchase online. So I'll provide a link in the description box below so you can get your hands on a set of these metal rings. Alternatively, you may be able to save certain types of food cans to use as rings for your English crumpets. This can of water chestnuts is about the same size, and it has 2 flat ends. This is important. You need to be able to remove both ends with a can opener to use it. A tuna can is about the same size also, and you might think this would be a good choice, but the bottom of a tuna can is beveled. You can't remove it with a can opener, so it won't work. To prepare our crumpet rings, we're going to take a little soft butter and spread it evenly and somewhat generously inside the ring. You can also use coconut oil, but it needs to be soft. Drop the ring into some flour and tap to remove the excess. Our batch is going to make about 8 to 10 crumpets. Our batter has doubled. It's time to add our final ingredients. We want to add some baking soda so we get just incredible lift and lots of those wonderful tunnels that crumpets are famous for. We're going to start with 100 grams of water and add a teaspoon of baking soda and about a quarter teaspoon of salt, and stir to get a somewhat milky liquid. It won't dissolve completely. Okay, pour this into the batter and stir well to evenly distribute the baking soda. You'll notice the batter responds right away, and it just bubbles and balloons up in the bowl. It's fun to watch. Our crumpet rings have been preheating in these two well-seasoned cast iron skillets. They're lightly oiled, and the temperature initially was set for about 300 degrees, and I just turned it down because they were just wanting to smoke. So I think we're ready to start pouring our batter. Have a rubber spatula handy and aim to pour, filling each ring between half to 2/3. If you go much higher than that, it's going to overflow, and that does happen once in a while. Whoops. If you get too much, like I just did with that one, no problem. Just take a spoon and scoop a little bit of it out and return it to your mixing bowl. Okay, now you'll want to put a lid on your pan because crumpets are only baked on one side. So putting the lid on traps the steam in the pan, allowing them to cook on both sides. Okay, I'm going to pour the other side as well. Turn the heat off because our crumpets are done. I can tell because they are shrinking away from the sides of the rings. So now using a thin spatula, I'll just scoop underneath and carefully take that ring off. And there we go. The bottom is nicely browned and the top is just full of those little bubbles, which mean tunnels. There we go. English crumpets are traditionally toasted before they're enjoyed. So I've got one in the toaster and I'm just waiting for it to pop. And while I wait, there were a couple things I wanted to mention to you. And one is, if you don't already have a sourdough starter but you'd like to learn how, I recommend you check out Mary's Nest channel here on YouTube, or go to marysnest.com. Mary has a wonderful tutorial on how to create a sourdough starter from scratch and how to maintain it. If you're interested in learning to master the complete art of bread, I recommend you check out Homesteading Family. They have an online course. It's self-paced, and it's called The Art of Homemade Bread. It'll take you through all the steps, all the tips and techniques that you need to learn to start baking your family's bread supply, from whole grains, from ancient grains, everything. Well, it sounds like our crumpet has popped. It's got the nice holy texture there on top. Now we just add some butter, and it just melts and soaks right into those lovely little tunnels. And of course, honey is traditionally used on top of crumpets. Let's give it a taste. Oh my. A homemade crumpet really is an exquisite treat. In fact, a friend of mine said that homemade crumpets aren't a bread, they're an obsession, and I think she might be right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for joining me today in Chocolate Box Cottage. It's been a privilege and a blessing to have you visit with me again. I'll see you next time. Goodbye and God bless.